Hello and welcome to the video. It's time for me to learn how to actually play good disc golf. For the past year, I've been working pretty much exclusively on form work and distance, which has worked really well. My form looks a lot better. I'm throwing a lot further than I used to, probably close to 100 feet further than I was, sort of 18 months ago. However, I've just played my first two tournaments of the year, didn't play very many last year, and I barely struggled to shoot above my 900 rating, meaning that I'm scoring no better than I was after about my first 6 months or so of playing disc golf. So I figured it's time to make some goals and try to figure out how to actually start playing some better disc golf. My best tournament rated round was 956. My first tournament, I shot a 901, and I'm still rated 908 now. So not a lot of improvement there, really, in terms of the scoring, even though my game has vastly improved. So my goal for this season, I want to try to go in and improve on that 956. I would like to shoot 1,000 rated round in a tournament. Now, unfortunately, due to my schedule, I'm probably not going to get enough attempts at that to do that. I think I'll be surprised if I get to play more than 3 more tournaments, which would probably only give me 5 or 6 more rounds. So my alternate goal on that, every month, I'm going to go out and I'm going to film a round at one of my local courses, both of which courses have a record of -12, which looking at previous sort of league results and things like that would be about 10-15 rated. So as an alternate goal, saying that I may not have enough tournament time, I'm also going to once a month go and see if I can shoot 12 under or better to tie those course records at each of my home courses. So the main things I've decided that I need to work on in order to achieve this goal: number one, putting. I've improved my putting a lot over the off season, but I want to be to the point where I'm very confident in making pretty much everything from inside circle one on a decent day. Number two is hitting starting lines with backhands and forehands. I've worked on my forehand form a lot now. I can finally trust it to come out my hand pretty consistently, but I'm not there with hitting lines yet. So that's the next one, but also with the backhands as well. Since I've been throwing with more power, I've been sort of, when I vary that power a little bit, I find it harder to hit an initial starting line. Then the next one is to learn how to throw flat again. My more power form involves throwing on quite a bit more hyzer, so I need to learn on, when I'm dialing it back, how to throw flatter. And then the last one, I just want to learn how to use fairway drivers, really. I don't really throw them a lot. I tend to just throw distance drivers. So I want to get a fairway lineup that I'm confident in and learn how to use those well. First things first, I'm going to see how the putting is. Going to do the UDisc putting practice feature. Best score I've had so far is 12 out of 30, which is not good at all. So see if the putting practice I've done already will start me off in a better place for this to begin with. Let's get into it. So pretty terrible performance there as well. I got 8 out of 30, no circle 2 putts, and none from the edge of C1 either. So definitely got to be working on the longer ones. I like the way the putts felt coming out, but yeah, just not dialed at the moment. So on to the next one. I have gone a step further back from that 22 footer that I started with. Now I'm at 25 feet, and I'm going to throw 100 putts from this distance, just try and get the releases feeling good. Okay, got the tech disc set up. I have thrown a few already. I was throwing like minimum 15 degrees of hyzer, which, yeah, that's kind of showing me why I'm struggling a bit with disc control. So gonna try and throw a few flat here, see how we go. Gonna try to exaggerate the feeling of keeping the disc high in the pull through and in the follow through. Okay, for my main drill, now that I feel like I've kind of got the feeling of throwing a flatter shot dialed, I'm now going to try to work on the start line. So I've got this T-pad, which has this nice line running right down the middle. And then I've got this stick here, which is where I want the disc to start over. And then I'm sort of aiming for that big group of trees in the distance there. And I've set the camera up here, right in the middle. There's this AB video that I love to watch where he's throwing and he's got the camera set up like this. And you can just see from the way he's running down and throwing exactly where it is that he's trying to aim. Whereas I feel when I do my run-ups and stuff like that, a lot of the time it's a bit, I'm sort of all over the tee box a little bit. So I'm going to try and come in so that by the time I get myself set, the disc is on this line and then it stays on that line the whole way through to my release point. So that's the goal. I've got a whole bunch of putters, mids, fairways, drivers. Going to throw forehands with my forehand discs, backhands with my backhand discs, varying angles, just trying to get the starting line. So I'm going to throw the flippy ones on hyzer, etc. Going to try to throw the putters at sort of like 50 miles an hour or below, so maybe about 230 feet, something like that. Try to get the mids out to sort of like 260, fairways up to like 300, and then the drivers out sort of 350 odd. So throwing it sort of like 60 up to like 80% power, something like that. All right, mids now. Going to start with the flippy ones. These ones are insanely flippy, so at this power I'm going to have to give this a ridiculous amount of hyzer. Yeah, I kind of yank it when I throw on hyzer a lot of the time. Another yank on hyzer. Better angle, a little bit pulled to the right. Good line, but too much hyzer. So much hyzer. Right, Malta overstable one now. Really try to crank the Anheuser. See if we can still get the start line. It's probably the best one of the lot there. Right, now as I up the power slightly into the fairways, I think I'm going to have a little bit of an easier time hitting the start line here, because the acceleration is going to help the disc come out at the right time. So we'll give this a go, starting off with a nice straight undertaker to begin with. If I can throw it flat, it should just cruise flat all the way to the ground. Well, that's just a gorgeous golf shot there. Yeah, there's the turn. Still not a bad shot though. I threw it on hyzer, but also started too far left. Let's do forehand. Right, this is my flippy Raptor, so it's really flippy, so I'm going to try and get this low on hyzer with a nice little flip up to flat. Very too high. Good start line though. Right, we'll go for my flippiest fairway now with the Sting. Hoping if I pop this on some hyzer, a little bit less power, get it to flip up and ride straight. Still turned over there, but good start line, good angle. Okay, got a ESP Captain's Raptor here. This one's quite straight actually for a Captain's Raptor, so it's a bit too overstable for my forehand really, but we'll see if we can get it to come out more or less flat. Bit nose up again. That's kind of how that one flies. That was nice. Last fairway. This is kind of my favourite, the Reaper. I'll pop this flat, it should just cruise straight for a long time. Do it a little bit high, but right, distance drivers now. Again, sort of expecting to not struggle too much with the start line here, as I'm a lot more comfortable with my release at full power. Right, nuke to start with. Bit too much hyzer, but not bad. Let's go forehands next. Been throwing Zeus's for my forehands. Feel a bit more comfortable, slightly smaller rims than like the nukes and not as overstable as the forces. Alright, let's see if we can get that nose angle down. Wobbly, but better nose angle. Right, this is a more overstable Zeus here, so see if we can get it to come out flat-ish. Still a little bit hyzer, but and a bit of wobble, but not too bad. Right, gonna go for my Nuke OS here. This is gonna try for an anhyzer here, try for a flex. Or just flat, but ride straight.
Still a nice shot. Right, that's the end of that set. I'm going to grab the mids, the buzzes, and go through it again at the lower power and try to get that start line right. Going to just sort of modify my grip strength a little bit. If I grip a little bit lighter, then I shouldn't need to accelerate so much to get the disc to come out. So gonna try that for the next set. Not gonna film that as you've already seen it all the way through. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully I can start shooting some better scores on the course, and this starts to work. Thanks for watching.